What's up, guys? Welcome to week 28 of Books Being Sick. I am Nick. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, my life is pretty busy at the moment. I don't like to complain. I'm not complaining. I like being busy. I like busyness. I like things. But in my head, I'm always like, I just recorded my YouTube video 2 days ago. It's always 2 days ago in my head. And then I look and I'm like, oh, it was 9 days ago. I gotta do another one. So I appreciate your patience. I am trying to be as on top of this as possible. I think what I'm actually gonna start doing is actually having a schedule, a day and a time where they come out so that I can kind of stay on top of it a little more. I'm thinking Sundays at 3 or something like that. I'm a little out of breath because I started this video and then I realized I didn't actually have any of the books I want to talk about with me, so I had to run downstairs and get them and then come back up. And then I just kind of kept this rolling, but I cut out the first little bit. But not important. I do have a lot of book stuff to share with you. Like I said, life has been busy. I'm a wedding photographer for a living, so there's there's a lot of that, a lot of picture taken in the summer. Summers are quite busy. I have 2 weddings this weekend. I can't wait. They're both going to be really fun, I think. But that's taken up a lot of my time at the moment. However, I'm still finding myself able to get a pretty decent amount of reading in on top of, watching the kids, doing all the summer stuff, and it's actually been okay. It's been okay. I'm not sleeping very well, but it's fine. So, first up, I'm going to go through the books that I've finished so far this month, which is only 2. But we're July 11th. I'm feeling pretty good so far. I had 4 books on my reading list for this month that I wanted to finish, and I'm through about 2.2 of them. The first one I finished, this is the Sick Book Club book for this month. This is High Fidelity by Nick Hornby. This was fantastic. I didn't have low expectations for this book. I thought I was really, really going to like it, actually, but I didn't think I was going to be blown away by it. And I'm not saying that I was blown away by it, but one thing I was not expecting from this book is the humor. I laughed internally this entire book. The entire book, I was dying on the inside. It was so funny. This is right up there. This is my kind of humor. This is my kind of character. I thought he was just so, he's so self-deprecating and sarcastic, and it's just such a British humor. This is pure British humor in this book. And so if that is your thing, you are going to love this. I absolutely did. And it's a great kind of, what's cool. I'm glad I read this when I did, actually, because I'm 36. I'm 36 years old. And he's 36. So we're both 36, so I feel like that was kind of a cool thing. Very rarely am I reading about characters that are exactly 36. So that was kind of nice, and it's kind of like a middle-aged coming-of-age story, you know what I mean? Most coming-of-age stories, I feel like, they happen during the high school years. This one is a bit later in life, and I thought that was kind of cool. And a lot of music stuff, a lot of funny quips about music, and just the shop owners or employees are just hilarious. I can't wait to rewatch the movie. It's been quite a while since I've seen the movie. And to be honest with you, I actually don't know that I've ever seen it all the way through. It's always, there was a period of time where that movie was on a lot, but I was always just kind of seeing it through my peripherals, just kind of walking by, seeing a scene and it kept moving on. I don't know that I've ever actually watched the whole thing. The only thing that I can really remember from the movie is Jack Black's part when he enters the shop for the first time and he does that dance. That's the only thing I can remember, honestly. So looking forward to checking out the movie, because a lot of people tell me that it is quite similar to the book. Even though the movie is American and in the book it is British, they were able to capture the personalities of these characters quite well from American actors. And yeah, I just can't wait. I can't wait to check it out. High Fidelity, fantastic. Really loved High Fidelity. Next book I read was kind of just on a whim. I was actually just kind of sitting right where I am now, and I had exported a wedding, and then I kind of just did this thing I do where I kind of just do this, and I'm like, what do I do now? And this was beside me on my shelf here, and I just grabbed it and started reading it. Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. And finished this in a day, actually. So I finished this started this at about lunchtime and finished it at after making dinner. I was kind of just picking it up here. And I wasn't reading that whole way through. I was kind of just picking it up, getting a chapter in, and continuing on. And it was really, I was expecting to like this one, and I did. I did really, really like it. It's so aggressive. It's so in your face, and it's so I know the story because, again, of the movie, and so I think that helped kind of keep my brain on track and figuring out what exactly is going on in the story, because it's a lot. I feel like if I was reading this having never seen the movie and was kind of just going into this cold, I might have actually been a little bit what on earth is going on here? But I actually like that kind of what do you call that thing when it's like your fever dream? It's like a fever dream of a book, and I've heard that a lot of Chuck's books are like that, and I'm excited to check out more Chuck Palahniuk. You know, I've been very interested in him as an author because he is very different, and he does write. Now that I've experienced it, he does write my kind of style of story and book, and just doesn't hold back, I would say. You know, there's a lot of stuff in here that I've never seen in any other books. And the other thing too, I was going to say, when I mentioned that I would read a chapter and kind of move on, this is a great book for just kind of like hanging out and for the day and getting it done without having to read straight through, because it's only like 200 pages and there's like 30 chapters. So the chapters are really, really quick, really hard-hitting little chapters that make this book very digestible. You can fly right through it, honestly. And I love books like that. I love short chapter books. Not that I don't love long chapter books. I love long chapter books too. I'm actually kind of in one of those right now and I'm really enjoying it. But if you're trying to just like maybe get a book done in a day, it is nice to be able to chapter, do something. I don't like putting a book down mid-chapter, which is what I have to do with a lot of other books. Oh, so I got to figure out what next I want to read from Chuck, and I'm trying to get everybody's opinion on that. And it seems as though the popular choice is Choke. And so I have ordered Choke. I'm excited to read Choke, and I've also ordered Invisible Monsters, the remix. So there's apparently like another edition that's kind of like the director's cut edition of Invisible Monsters, where I guess Chuck has just added in a few things, but maybe kind of similarly to what Stephen King did with the unabridged version of The Stand. And so I kind of love that, and I'm excited for that to be my first experience with that book, because I know a lot of people are really hyping that one up too, and I read what it's about, and it does seem very interesting. Invisible Monsters, from what I can gather, is about a woman who is a runway model. She's beautiful. She's got everything going for her. And then an accident happens and she becomes disfigured and needs to kind of carry on her life. She become kind of, I don't know. It seems great. I'm very excited to see how Chuck kind of tells that sort of story. So next up, I started this today. Took the kids to the splash pad and started this. Hard Rain Falling by Don Carpenter. This, ever since I saw Tony talk about this book and say how much he loved it and that it's his favorite read of the year so far, that's high praise coming from a guy like Tony. And he also mentioned, of course, that if you like that John Williams book, I've said this before, but if you like that John Williams book, you'll love this. And I can tell you, so far, that does appear to be the case. I'm very early on in this book, but what an addicting read. What an addicting read already. I can't wait to finish this YouTube video and just go read more of this, because it is very you get pulled right into this world and this story and these characters so quickly, and I'm already in love with them, and I need to know where they're going. And it's again, I'm very early on here. Where am I? I'm only like about 30-40 pages in here, but fantastic so far. If you've been on the fence about this one, I can tell you, based on early reviews from me, it's gonna be good. It's going to be a high praise one for me. I can already tell. Also, I just wanted to share this. So I have never read fan fiction before. Oh, also, before I get into that, these books too, these New York review books here, that they have the square here. I've got a few of them. And so far, the ones that I've read, they're all good. So I'm sure that, I think that this is a thing. If you find a book like this and it's got this cover on it and it's a New York book review book, I think you can safely probably pick it up and it's at least going to be okay. The hit rate for these books has been very high for me so far. And not only high, one of them is my favorite book of all time. And this one, so like I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but loving this one so far. Okay, so I have never read fan fiction before. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't think I've ever read fan fiction, and I kind of want to. And I like Stranger Things. I remember watching Stranger Things when it first came out. My wife and I just clicked on the thing and it was there and we were like, oh, what's this? And then we watched the whole series that night and have been kind of, I wouldn't say obsessed with it, but just have really enjoyed that series as it's rolled out here. And so I picked up this book called Flight of Icarus here. And I believe that is a Iron Maiden song, which makes me very happy right off the bat. And I believe that this is Eddie. And I think that this is a fan fiction story about Eddie, who was in the most recent season and a character that I really liked. And I don't know if anybody's read this, if you can tell me if this is worth getting into, but I would love to just check out a fanfic. I have not done that yet, and I think this would be a fun one to jump into. And it's not very long. We're talking like 250 pages. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to read my first fanfic. And if you guys have any other fanfic recommendations, like if you're a fanfic kind of person, please let me know if you have any recommendations. Because again, I would love to maybe try and dive into that a little bit. I don't know. So I got a couple other things to talk to you about. I just wanted to share this quickly. This is some book mail that showed up from HarperCollins division of books called Mariner. They sent me 3 books here. These are books that are coming out this summer or that have already come out this summer. That they're pretty hyped on. This is Sarah Perry's Enlightenment. I'm not sure what that one is, but love the cover. And, you know, I'm sure it's good. This one seems the most intriguing to me. There is a Rio Grande in Heaven by Ruben Reyes Jr. I really enjoy that cover a lot. That would be just an amazing poster. And there's that one there. I can't really say a whole lot about these books. I'm just sharing them because they're book mail. And I just think that they look cool. This one's called Evenings and Weekends by Oisin McKenna. That one also looks really, really cool there. And so I just thought I would share those in case there's any interest. I'm going to do a deeper dive into those books so that I have more to say about them. But so that's that. That's book mail. There's other book stuff I could open, but I'm not going to do that right now. Actually, I did get the Tomorrow paperback copy in the mail. This is, so I guess they're just coming out with a paperback for this. This is a fantastic book. I really, really love this one. So if you're looking for, if you were a video game nerd, or if you even just casually played video games in the 90s or early 2000s, you'll love this book. And even if you didn't, you'll probably still love this book. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Give me 1 second. Because the other thing that I wanted to share with you, and again, appreciate your patience. I love just doing this in one cut. I don't love cutting. So I'm gonna keep this the way it is. So I got this really cool framed picture here of all of Stephen King's novels in order of when they came out here. I don't know if I can kind of get a little closer on that. You can sort of see what I mean. Da-na-na, da-na-na. I think I might have shared this on here before, but this poster kind of got me thinking about my Stephen King journey and where I want to go with it. And I've, up until this point, kind of picked things at random. So I've got a few random ones kind of just plucked off here. But I think going forward, what I would like to do is start going in chronological order as from when they were released to the world, and kind of just go down the line until I catch up and have read all of his books. Because I think the way that I'm doing it right now, it's been a lot of fun, and I've read a lot of, you know, what I guess people would consider the best ones. And I think what might end up happening is that if I keep just picking and choosing, there's inevitably going to be a handful, like a line or two, that I'm just probably never going to get to. So I think if I force myself to just go down the line, it's actually going to, I'll be able to have a more realistic chance at reading his entire lineup, and I really want to do that. So this is my plan here. I might try to find some like magnets or like stickers I can put on here to mark them off as I go. But I've read Carrie, obviously, which is the first one, and Salem's Lot, which is the second, The Shining, which is the third. By the way, what an incredible 1, 2, 3 start to your career, eh? Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Shining, and then The Stand was number 5. Like, that's insane. But so I would be starting with Night Shift, which I've not read, obviously. The Dead Zone, Firestarter. Then I'd be going to Creep Show, Christine, I haven't read. The Talisman. And so I think that would just be a really fun thing to do. And that's what I'm going to do. You heard it here first. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's it for this week. I don't know how long that was. But thank you for watching, and I am so loving doing these videos, and I'm so loving doing the book club on Patreon. Again, if you want to check out the Patreon, it is linked below. That's where we do the book club. This month's book was, again, High Fidelity, which was a lot of fun. We do I do giveaways every month. I've given away 3 or 4 or 5 Folio Society copybooks, which has been a lot of fun. There's no High Fidelity Folio Society book, so I'm gonna have to find something else that's cool to give away. But yeah, there's a lot of other content, and there's a lot of fun chats and a lot of stuff going on. It's been an unexpected thing for me, the Patreon. I started it and was like, "Oh, I've got like 12 followers on here. This is sick." And it's really grown from there quite a bit, and it's been a lot of fun. And so if you have any interest in that, it is below. It's $5 a month American, and that's that. You know, it helps me out. I appreciate the support and everything. And yeah. So this has been week 28 of Books Being Sick. Thank you as always for being here. I will be back next week. Like I said, I'm gonna it's Thursday now, so I'm not going to start the Sunday train yet. The next video is likely going to be on Monday or Tuesday, and then I'm going to start the Sunday train and try to have a bit more of a schedule with these. Also, I bought a bunch of paint, and I'm starting to, I bought like a Warhammer set, and I'm starting to paint Warhammer and glue them together, just as like, because I don't have enough like stuff going on in my life. I don't know if that's going to focus there, but yeah, that's like a little guy I glued together yesterday. Whoa. I wasn't going to share that, but I did, and I'm already losing my voice. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here, and love you so much, and bye-bye.